Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's News Tonight, episode 115. This is, of course, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests, our lovely patrons, and our awesome YouTube audience to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined today by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Derek Bittner and Steve Bowling, along with our very special returning guest, Twitch streamer, speedrunner, and fighting game demon, or is that raging demon, Vash. Man, thanks so much for joining us again today. How is it going?
It's going great, especially after that introduction, man. Like you hyped me up more than I do myself on my own stream, and I love it. My viewers are gonna love that.
Well, then I guess I'll need to counter that a little bit by saying honestly, when we did that fighting game stream a couple of weeks ago with our EPs,
don't bring up your Honda. Don't bring up your Honda.
Oh no! Once in Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, I beat you with my moving E Honda 100 hand slap.
Yeah.
Was genuinely one of the proudest moments of my life. When I took one round, I was
so honored.
Nah, he's going to come back and totally smoke me, and I somehow got a game off you.
I mean, must be nice.
I love that you have to bring this up on stream, like destroying the man's image, like beat by a scrub like Ash.
Yeah, and it's totally not because Honda's broken in that game, by the way.
If I'm being completely transparent, I walked into Broly's room after it was all said and done, and I was like, dude, Honda hits like a truck. And he was just like, yeah, Honda's not fair. You get hit twice and you lose like at three-fourths of your health. And I was like, yeah. But that was pretty funny.
Well, and the fact that he can move during his 100 hand slap and trap you in the corner, like there's a reason they took that out of future iterations. Like, I mean, that was I knew exactly what I was doing.
It's rough in Street Fighter 4, and I think a little bit in Street Fighter 5. He has like EX cancel into like EX hands, and he like jerks forward a little bit. It's like crazy. Yeah. He's nuts.
Yeah. But to be fair, that's nothing compared to all the times you smoked me in Smash, and it's generally agreed upon that I'm our best Smash player at GVG, and you smoked me many times. So cool. It goes both ways. But
does that mean that Vash is really good at Smash, or that GVG is really bad at Smash?
I think it means I prefer to think it means he's really good. I think I know.
Ash is honestly really good. Ash is really to me insanely good at Smash. I dread playing against him, but Vash is on a whole other level completely. You guys are like gods of Smash to me. I can't I can't and don't want to learn how to play that well.
Well, thank you. And as we all know, GVG smashes, so that all tracks.
Yeah.
It's a very PG way of saying that.
Exactly. Vash, how have you been, man, since we last had you on the show? How you doing over there?
I mean, it's been great. I mean, so it's been super hot. I live in Texas, and my state has not been great in the news. I hate what Texas has been doing recently. Yeah. But besides that, I mean, I've just been, just trying to live it up, just trying to stay positive. Broly and I are both vaccinated, but we're still being safe about it. It was really cool. I think this past weekend we went to Classic Game Fest here in Austin, and I got a mega haul of a bunch of really cool games that I've been looking for GameCube. I got Pokemon White, which I had never played before, so I'm really excited to play Pokemon White. And I got every GoldenEye game on the GameCube, and there's 4 of them. I don't know why there's so many, but there's 4 of them.
What? I had no idea.
Yeah. I didn't realize there was 4 different GoldenEye.
Yeah, it's like Agent Under Fire. It's like Night Rogue or something like that. And then there's
it's not GoldenEye. It's Bond. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, okay. I just call it GoldenEye because 64.
Fair.
Oh, okay.
Fair.
See,
I'm a boomer.
That said, there's like multiple GoldenEye games, which is why I didn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I was thinking okay, GoldenEye came out for the 64, then they had like the canceled 360 version, then we got the actual like Wii version that came out with a Golden Pro controller. I was like, you're telling me
then they got the weird GoldenEye
between?
sequel that EA put out that had nothing to do with GoldenEye.
Yeah.
So there are
so
4
sad
games.
We're never going to get that
made sense.
Canceled 360 version or the Xbox Live Arcade version.
The
Perfect Dark was so good, and I would have loved to play GoldenEye.
I'm not going to lie. So that was one of those things that I didn't feel bad emulating at all.
Sure.
It was on the web archive. I was like, well, this might disappear. I'm grabbing this, and I booted up a Xbox 360 emulator, and holy hell, is that a nice I wish that had come out officially, because it looks way better than the N64 version.
Right. No, it really does. And, that just kind of underscores how great those Xbox ports of N64 Rare games were in general. And
Yeah.
I mean, both Banjo games are great. Perfect Dark was great. But I was always more of a GoldenEye fan than Perfect Dark. And so that was the one I really wanted to play and just wasn't meant to be.
You know what was
right
shocking
issues.
to me while we're briefly on the topic of Xbox Rare games? That when they ported Conquer to the Xbox, it was more censored.
I know. Didn't they call it like
That's
live
right.
and
I
uncut
forgot
or
about
something
that.
like that? Or
Yeah.
that was originally what it was going to be called?
Yeah, something like Conquer Live and Reloaded or something
Yeah, I think
weird
it was.
like that.
I remember Reloaded
Right.
being in the title.
Yeah, and
Right,
I was like, oh man, this is Xbox. All the like 9 words that they bleeped in the N64 version will be unbleeped, and instead it was way more
It was
clean.
worse.
Well, we do have quite a bit of news to discuss today, but before that, we have a quick PSA about the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, and I promise we're not here to complain yet again that they're not on console. We've done
Maybe a
plenty
little.
of that, maybe a little, but
Small
but
bit.
so the first 3 Final Fantasy games, the Pixel remastered versions, are out now, and you can go check them out if you want. However, the font in the Western versions of the games is absolutely awful. It's really embarrassingly awful, and there is a fix for it that's going around. However, it's a bit technical, and so Steve, I think you had an idea, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna complain as far as saying I'm not gonna buy this game. I want to help y'all with it, but I don't want to buy it to help y'all. And no, I'm not asking you to buy me the game because I still won't play it, even if you buy it for me. So don't try. Just don't waste your money. But if one of you wants to help me, I could definitely write a mod. I know exactly what it is it's doing. I just need to know where precisely the files are that need to be changed. And if one of you bought the game and can help me with that, I will make you a mod that you can just double click and it'll do all the changes for you. So
There you go.
just putting it out
Pretty
there. If
cool.
anyone in the GV gang has the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, I will develop a mod for you free of charge.
Yeah, I think
probably
they're
best
also
idea is to reach out on your Twitter, right,
Yeah,
Steve?
yeah. DM me on Twitter. My DMs are open. Steve M Bowling, or just tag me in a tweet. I don't care, and we can work out the particulars. But yeah, that's it. I wish you all good questing or whatever you would say in Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
I'll buy it when it's on the Switch.
I think they're all sold separately, right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
I know.
There is
I've never played Final Fantasy 4, and me being
Oh,
a
man.
Final Fantasy, me being a Final Fantasy 14 player, Endwalker is like based around a lot of 4, so I'm looking and keeping an eye out for when that comes out.
Oh, I mean, you got to play
4 is also
for
like-
that reason, and also just because it's a classic.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's
4,
really
4
great.
and 6 and 5. I mean, they're all
4 is
fantastic
definitely up
games.
there. It's definitely, if you're looking at classic Final Fantasy, that 4 is the one I'm going to point you to first,
Yeah.
because I think it's
I
just
would
it's
say, yeah.
nice. It's more linear. It's not too hard. It just has a pretty fun, entertaining story, and it just kind of hits all those notes. Like, it kind of feels classic Final Fantasy more than any other.
Sweet. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out because I've heard a lot of good things, and the only thing that I've heard about the Pixel remaster is that the Final Fantasy 1 battle theme is like a banger, like the new one or something like that.
I'm not
I
listening to
haven't
the
heard
new
enough of the new
remixes yet.
the remastered soundtrack. I really want to hear it.
Yeah.
Have you
to check
played
it out.
6, Vash?
I played so I've played all of them except for 4 and 5, and I played in my youth. I played like half of 6, so that's one of them that I'm gonna count as like I need to revisit that one for sure.
That's where I'm at. I need to play through 6 at some point. I need
Right.
to do. I've not had a chance to go back to 14 yet, though. Amy has been finally gotten back there, and she just started Stormblood, and so she's excited about
Oh,
that.
nice.
Nice.
Stormblood added the red mage, and that's my favorite class from
nice.
my classic Final Fantasy, and I love the red mage, but I cannot wait for the Reaper class in the expansion coming up.
Reaper class looks so fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of funny. She's beyond the meme now. She's like beyond where heaven's.
Yeah.
Can play up to this point.
Well, we're about to get to the news, but we do have one super chat to read out first, and that comes from Jacob Tucker for $5. Thank you so much, saying, "Hey, GVG, great work as always. My theater production of Fiddler on the Roof premieres tomorrow. Can I get a break a leg from you guys?" Well, hell yeah! Congratulations and break a leg. Or break a leg.
Yeah,
as some
I
people
used to do a lot of musical theater growing up, and my community theater there was Fiddler on the Roof. I never got to be in that one. I actually got the lead in Hairspray, and that's
Dang.
like one of my biggest like
Right.
praises ever. Yeah, it was so much fun. But once you get a lead role in a musical, you feel the hatred from your from the people who didn't get the role and who are also in
Ooh.
the play. Man, it was rough. Everyone was judging me. Everyone was just like, "Oh, no, I could have done it better." But I had
Ooh.
fun with it. It was so good.
Yikes.
The
I
only play I think I've been a part of is the Spring Sing back at my old elementary school, and we sang the Time Warp and wore silly costumes. That's pretty much it.
Nice. A
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah, classic. Sorry, Derek, you were saying something?
Oh, I've never been in a play before. I had no inclination. I've never seen Fiddler on the Roof either. All I know is my school had a production of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which I actually enjoyed so much. I actually went out and bought the movie for it, the movie version. It's like, you know what? That was a good time. I want to see that.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
actually,
Well,
on my Twitch stream, I have a if you use your channel points, you can request a 5 second song that I can sing. Obviously, I picked the song. I don't want them, coming in here and requesting like Doja Cat or something. I won't be able to rock that. But yeah, it's fairly cheap channel points that you just get from watching the stream, and you could hear me sing for 5 seconds if you guys are down for that. So.
There you go.
I mean, that seems totally worth it to me. But yes, Jacob, thanks again, and break a leg.
Yes,
for sure.
I didn't get to say it either. Break a leg, figuratively.
Figurative, yes, break a leg.
Don't shatter your
we do have-
tibia.
Yeah. We did just have one more super chat come in really quick from Kyle Howard for $4.99. Thank you so much, saying, "Hey gang, Rue Kyle here. Wanted to hop on to wish my best friend Splubber a happy early birthday. Send him
Aw.
some good vibes." Well,
Hey.
hell
Birthday.
yeah. Happy birthday, Splubber. And I
birthday,
said it before,
Splubber.
I'll say it again. I love saying your name. It's such a fun word to say.
Yeah.
Splubber. Happy birthday.
Happy
reminds me of
birthday
Flubber.
indeed.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
about that too every time.
Yeah,
we do
I
this.
just you said Slubber and I was like Robin Williams. Like it just
Yeah,
popped up in my head.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do, in fact, have some news to discuss today. So let's get right onto that and get that first story up on screen. So back when the Parade of Nations happened to open up the Tokyo 2020, or I guess 2021 now, Olympics.
Well, they do call it
we were-
2020, so.
Yeah, they're calling it Tokyo 2020. So we were all, especially me, enthused about the fact that the whole thing was done to video game music. But understandably, there were quite a few folks wondering where Nintendo was, and maybe thinking that maybe Nintendo backed out at the last second due to the general unpopularity of Japan holding the Olympics among the Japanese population with all the COVID issues and stuff. And turns out that speculation was right. Nintendo was planned to be a part of the Tokyo 2020 games as part of the opening ceremony as recently as June 16th, in fact. And this is according to a Resetera thread by Mondo Mega. And as recently as June 16th, there was going to be quite a bit of Nintendo music, actually, as part of the opening ceremony, including the main theme from Zelda, a Super Mario Suite, a Kirby Superstar medley, and opening from Pokemon. They were all going to be part of the ceremony. And the article that this thread is referencing says they were removed, quote unquote, just before the show. In addition, there is a cut segment of the opening ceremony that was pitched last October and apparently would have featured Naomi Watanabe and Lady Gaga appearing from a warpipe wearing Mario hats, which of course was meant to replicate Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's appearance during the closing ceremonies at Rio 2016. So, long story short, that speculation that Nintendo was part of it was correct. It's a shame, but as this thread also mentions, around 80% of Japanese people surveyed were against the Olympics being held due to COVID concerns and such. So Nintendo probably wanted to distance themselves from that. But that's everything for me. Vash, how are you feeling about this? Did you get to watch the Parade of Nations and hear all that awesome music?
Yeah, I got so many. It's just really nice because it never started out this way, but just over time, people kind of started associating me with the Tales of series because I'm just a huge fan of the Tales of series. And of course, like, so Soray's theme played, and I forgot the other one. I think it was from Tales of Destiny. But yeah, Tales of music was there, and I got so many DMs and so many people added me on Twitter being like, "Hey, did you see the Tales of, like people can't say Tales of isn't, a notable RPG anymore." And I'm like, if you keep repeating that, people are going to question it more. Just don't even bring it up anymore. But no, yeah, it was great. I mean, anytime I was actually having this discussion with some friends, like maybe 3 days ago, but I really think over the past like 3 or 4 years, video game, you know, like it was always a separation from like, here's a symphony of like music and then here's video game music. And like,
Right.
I feel like lately, you know, over the past couple of years, it's definitely been like respected more and like kind of just, you know, amplified even more so in the spotlight with people just accepting it as music because it's music, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I want to
Perfect.
point out what the Irish Jacomon is mentioning in the patron chat right now, because there were other things too. We were supposed to have anime characters like Naruto, Sailor Moon, Goku, Gundam. They were all going to make appearances. I am so sad for what could have been.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
mash up
The
all my
non-COVID
favorite shit.
timeline where we got all this stuff in there, that would have been cool.
I want to see Goku pop out of a warp pipe. The only thing that could have made it better is if they somehow announced Goku for Smash at the Olympics.
Yeah, I know. Just break all the rules.
Sakurai comes out and he's just like, Goku's in Smash, and then just throws the mic down and fights someone and wins a gold medal. Would have been the best
That's
event of my
amazing.
life. I would have been like,
Oh,
well,
man.
my kid's being born just slid to number 2.
Oh, man.
Oh man, I could imagine just like, you know, Sailor Moon popping out of the Gundam, you know, or something like, or like the
Oh,
Gundam
man.
itself
Right.
was like the Gundam itself was in like Goku's gi or something like that.
Oh, God.
Right?
Yeah.
I recently saw a series of animated shorts. For some reason, they decided to celebrate the anniversaries of both Gundam and Hello Kitty by having Hello Kitty appear on the battlefield in Gundam, and like did a whole like mini series of anime about it, where people were just questioning her entire existence. Like they thought she was a mobile suit the whole time. They're like, she's just a giant space cat that doesn't want us to fight.
What was that one Gundam anime? Wasn't it? It was called like G Gundam, or it was called like where they were like chibi Gundams, and they were like it was like some show on TV.
I think that was Gundam SD.
Yeah, there you go. Gundam SD. It could be something like that, where they, like, you know, she could be in like a small miniature like chibi version.
I mean, there
of
has
herself
been
as a Gundam.
there has been a Sailor Moon Gundam where they like basically made the Gundam look like Sailor Moon, but also the classic Gundam model. But G Gundam's not wrong, because there was a female pilot in that, and basically the Gundam looked like Sailor Moon. It just fit that whole thing, like the sailor outfit and everything. It was weird.
Cool.
But G Gundam's also an amazing, just wild series. It fits the Olympics. Every country beats the hell out of each other with their own Gundam.
Yeah.
And they're wildly inappropriate.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a doesn't the French one, no joke, have like a baguette or something like that? Like,
Oh, no.
Might
gotta have
one with
something.
rose
Like
bits?
it's a, yeah, I think it has like
I
a
mean-
rose or like a freaking something like that.
According to Brandon Bovia, the Sailor Moon Gundam represents Sweden for some reason. But the one that there's two that will always stick out in my mind as far as G Gundam. First is the Mexican Gundam, which is called the Tequila Gundam. And features a sombrero and a poncho and like cacti things. It is like, whoo, that's inappropriate.
Yeah, the thing is, like, let me just interject real quick, because I grew up in the valley way down south of Texas, like right by Mexico. My mom's Mexican, and like I understand. I'm just talking for myself and my friend group and where I grew up. But whenever we see like, you know, Mario Odyssey, where Mario's wearing a sombrero and like hanging out with the mariachis, like I see it as people taking our culture and then celebrating it in their own way, you know, respectively. Like there's a way to do it wrong, and there's a way to do it like you're doing it with us. And so me and my friends, if we saw a Gundam like that with a freaking like
do it now. Look up Tequila Gundam. I'm curious about your thoughts.
Yeah,
But
I would've
the one
just
I
died
love
laughing.
is, and Playlog just mentioned it. The Netherlands Gundam is a freaking windmill. It just has a windmill on front of it.
That's so random.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Vash, because I've certainly come to realize that there's a problem where, and my wife and I talk about this sometimes as an interracial couple. Like, you know, we'll talk about how sometimes some white people get caught up in telling other people what they should be offended by and trying to convince them that something is bad when they don't feel that way about it themselves. Yeah. It's not for us to speak to what's offensive for other cultures. It's not. It should never be. And so I'm glad you mentioned that, because, you know, the three of us aren't going to, you know, we shouldn't be sitting here saying, "Oh, that's offensive for everyone," because it might not be.
Yeah,
it's not our
Might not
culture.
be.
Our own
There might be
culture.
some that it's still offensive to. It's hard to.
Exactly,
each person
for
is
sure.
different, so
It's
that's
exactly
really
it
what
comes
it
down
comes
to the
down to.
individual. Totally.
Yeah, that being
It's-
said, you could probably choose a better name than fucking Tequila Gundam.
But see, that's the hilarity of it. Like, I would laugh my ass off hearing Tequila Gundam, and he shows up and he's like, "Hey, get on the way, que pasa?" You know, he's just like super over the top, dude. It's so funny.
Well, that's like Speedy Gonzalez was known as a bit of a stereotype, and like the joke was like, the lazy Mexicans are actually moving fast for once, and that's how it all goes. But no, he was so accepted. It's like, no, he's actually, people love Speedy. So there you go.
Yeah, Speedy Gonzalez is awesome.
It kind of makes me wonder how like Russian folks think of vodka Drunkinsky. Like, obviously, he was changed to soda Popinski. Things like, stuff like you see in Street Fighter or Punch Out.
Right.
Like, jokes like that.
Oh yeah,
They can be problematic, of course, but it's also, again, not up for me to decide whether that's offensive or not.
That's right. Zangief originally had like a very not marketable name. What was it? It was.
I know he wasn't he called. Yeah, you might be right with the vodka thing. I know his things like he's like the Red Tornado or Red Hurricane or something now. But yeah, I think Zangief has
his Red Cyclone.
I had to look this
there you
up.
Go, that one.
So when they were concepting Zangief, his original name was Vodka Gobalski. I have no idea what Gobalski is reference to, but yeah, they were like, yeah, Russian. His name's Vodka, obviously.
Vodka, yeah, of course.
Jeez. BJ Bovia in our YouTube chat says, in G Gundam, the Statue of Liberty can shoot a laser beam, and I don't really have too much to say about that, other than that's just
how it goes.
I will say that it is a funny reflection. Like, we're talking to Vash about Tequila Gundam, and he thinks it's hilarious. Every time I see like an American stereotype from a foreign country, I laugh my ass off because they're always like,
yeah, it's like
I was just looking up the American Gundam, which is literally a football player with the big padded shoulders. The helmet has the football like thing across the mouth, and it has two rifles like revolvers at its side.
See, I think that if you gave him like a burger and like a Slurpee, I'd laugh my ass off at that.
Right.
Make him a little thicker in the middle.
Humble Jojo in the YouTube chat says, every time Mario said "Let's go" at the beginning of Double Dash, I thought he was saying Mexico, and my friends never went it down.
I always thought he said popsicle. But I wanted to point out Salvador Avila in the YouTube chat said, "Gracias por hablar español." And I know how to speak it like really, really well, but not completely. So I do fumble, but I'm glad that you guys, multi-language barrier doesn't matter. You guys are cool enough.
Right. It is really a shame, I guess, to bring things back to Tokyo 2020. It is really a shame that this whole Olympics has been dogged by the pandemic, and not only the pandemic, but all the problematic people associated with the planning of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, and other various people have had to step down, and there's just a lot of egg on the Olympics face this time. And I think I mentioned this on Friday, but it's a shame that like the Olympics that got the video game music parade of nations is always going to be overshadowed by the fact that it's Tokyo 2020, and it was just a mess across the board. And what are you going to do? Obviously, safety first, and I feel bad for all the Japanese folks. Again, 80% of people surveyed didn't want to have it happen, and it's really a shame that it.
It's a weird vibe because all those stands are almost completely empty.
Right.
The one thing I will say though, like we talk a lot on this show about Nintendo being kind of tone deaf to PR issues and not really like picking the right move at the right time. Good on Nintendo for realizing like, oh shit, like no one in our country wants this to even happen. Maybe we should just wash our hands of it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, like I said, I'm very sad for what could have been the coolest Olympics ever. Like anime and Nintendo and all this other cool stuff. I would have watched it just for that. I remember at the end of the Rio Olympics when they showed Shinzo Abe come out of the warp pipe, and I was like, dude, the next Olympics are going to be hype. I need to watch them. And then the world's like, hold my beer. But
it feels so long ago that I saw that when he came out of the warp pipe. That feels like so long ago.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? Yeah.
One points out that Sega, Square, and Namco didn't get backlash from the opening ceremony. We don't know that. We don't know how the Japanese public reacted to that.
Yeah, that's true. Like, for as connected as we are as a global society, like, Japanese Twitter is very insular because, I mean, there's a language barrier there, and not a lot of people report on your average, like, takes within the Japanese gaming community for Western audiences,
Yeah.
We're still very much separate in that regard. Kotaku occasionally does pretty good reporting on that stuff, like Japanese gaming trends, but you have to really go looking for it. I would not say that those companies are clear of criticism. They're probably catching it from Japanese gamers at least.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's interesting because go ahead. Oh, okay. It was just interesting. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Like, and I always feel like in this day and age, everyone's always looking for the next thing to kind of tackle. Like, oh, we had taxis and then they made Uber. Like something like that. So I'm surprised that in the gaming industry we don't have people tackling that sort of, the gray area of like making that translation super easy for how people are reacting to stuff over there and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the dust settles on Tokyo 2020 after all is said and done, what people look back on it. I assume it's not going to be mostly positive things that people look back on it about, but at least we will always have the Video Game Music Parade of Nations, and that's certainly an objectively positive thing. Before we move on to our next news story, though, we do have a couple of super chats. First is 10 Canadian dollars from Tommy Deonoth's Archives with no comment, just a donation. So thank you very much, Tommy, for that.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. We also have $9.99 from Sketcha NPM saying, I have to know what you guys think about the Star Wars anime. Trigger is doing 2 episodes, and the screenshots of characters jousting on X-Wings is the most Gurren Lagann looking thing ever. I haven't heard about this.
I've heard about it, but I've not looked into it.
Yeah, I'll have to look into this. I'm very curious, but just what you described sounds really cool. And it kind of reminds me of when I found out there is a Ninja Turtles anime short, which we actually watched the opening from in one of our patron exclusive post shows one day. It was hilarious. So it kind of reminds me of that, where it's just taking this property that I'm used to, obviously a Western property that I'm very used to growing up, and then just completely anime-fying it.
It could be fun, but I kind of I picked up the Animatrix. It was fine. I picked up the Batman anime thing. It was fine. And so after those two, I'm like, I'm probably good.
Western anime, like when they make something in the West and then call it anime, it feels like, I don't know, like that off-brand cereal you get, like when you want Pops and you get like Dr. Snacks.
I feel that. I definitely feel that.
Yeah. It's like, well, it scratches the itch a little bit, but
yeah. Well, Sketcha, thank you so much for your donation. And finally, we also have a $2 donation from Queso Buddy saying, as a Chicano, Tequila Gundam is hilarious to me. Well, that's awesome to know.
There you go.
And I love your name, by the way, Queso Buddy. That's great.
That sounds like something I would eat out of. A Queso Buddy.
Right? I think we're all buddies of Queso, except for those of us who are lactose intolerant.
I need to change my profile picture to Tequila Gundam for day. I need to do it. It's going to be in my freaking brain for the next 24 hours.
Right. Well, Steve, you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned you talked about washing one's hands of a situation, and I want to use that to segue into our next story, because the subject of the next story, everyone who goes, you better wash your hands multiple times a day. So let's get that up on screen.
Well done.
Thank you. So, PAX West 2021, counter to recent speculation, by myself included, has not been canceled. And maybe it won't be. I hope it doesn't get canceled. Instead, they are updating their safety protocols to implement a vaccine or negative COVID-19 test requirement prior to entry, which, hell yes. The only problem I have with this is that it isn't both. I wish it wasn't or, I wish it was and. But I'm so glad they're doing this. Steve and I both plan to go. I know that makes us both feel a lot better.
Yeah,
we both had a lot better. And we both had our media registrations confirmed recently, so we're definitely going to be there. And but I think this certainly helps us feel a little bit safer about going, knowing that this vaccination or test requirement is going to be there. Again, I just wish it was both. Vash, I
think everybody should definitely still wear a mask, though, because
of course, yeah,
I'm seeing a response on to this on Twitter, And so they said, my country, the Netherlands, mandated vaccination or negative test to enter clubs, and immediately our cases climbed faster than any other point, and we have since stopped our reopening and have closed clubs altogether. A negative test is not a substitute for the vaccine, so still wear the mask.
That's why I wish it was both. Like, I wish you had to prove, and I think I read it. I don't remember if it's the PCR or antigen test, but one of those, as I understand it, is not known to be particularly accurate. And so there are ways to still improve this safety protocol, but it's a good, first step, I guess.
It is. It is far better than the nothing we had, just a few days ago. It definitely puts my mind at ease. That being said, just out of mutual respect, I hope that folks wear masks at PAX West. I get that, people need to eat and it could feel a little claustrophobic at times, but I should say at a normal PAX, it can feel claustrophobic at times. I actually get the sense that this PAX will not be nearly as populated as previous shows, just due to the fact that you can still buy tickets right now. And that's never a thing. They sell out within minutes. And the fact that, on top of that, there will definitely be some folks, and I'm just going to come out and say it, fucking chuds that bought tickets and are going to be like, well, I don't want to take a COVID test. Well, cool. Don't go. Like, you can't go. Get vaccinated, get a test, or don't go. And I hope, but I don't particularly care, that ReedPop gives you a refund if you refuse to comply. Doesn't
I want to hop off Sketch MPM in the chat. It says, wear mask, good excuse for cosplay, be Kakashi. And that is perfect because the thing is, for me, okay, well, first off, I really, like, obviously my brother's disabled and I don't know I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but I feel like he'd probably be more vulnerable because he's like, his deficiency with his body and stuff like that. And so whenever we go out to places, I would feel so much more comfortable if they required, your card or whatever when you walk in to prove that you got vaccinated. And I am currently planning to, because Halloween's my favorite holiday, so I wanna dress up as Winter Soldier, and he wears a mask, and so masks just look badass. So if you make it look cool, it's not that big of a deal. And I mean, I've got the hair for it, so that's like my freaking casual cosplay Winter Soldier through PAX if I wanted to.
I was doing the recollection on Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney, and I had to laugh at the fact that Phoenix was flying in a plane with a sleep mask on and then an actual mask on. Like that. So he just completely covered up. Like, all right, Phoenix knows where it's at.
Yeah.
No. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say, I think it's like, I mean, I've got 4 kids, and kids can't get vaccinated yet. All my kids are under 12, so none of them can get the vaccine, even if I was, if it was possible, they'd be vaccinated, but it isn't. And so I always worry, like, okay, I know that odds of getting infected are pretty low after your second dose. And, it's been months since I got that. But I always think, like, man, wherever I go, one, I want my kids to know that they have to wear a mask when they go places because they're not protected. And I don't want them to think like, oh, I got a shot, everything's cool now, like the world's back to normal, because it still isn't. Like, people might be acting like it is in a lot of places now, but, we just got, well, Ash, I know you guys have an indoor mask up mandate again. And
yeah, we did just recently. The thing is, I never stopped, and I was never going to stop. I was never going to follow the directive from the CDC, just trusting them to say, oh yeah, you don't need to wear a mask indoors now. Like, I don't know. I just think it's not only respectful to others, but also just to myself and my friends and family. Like, minimize the risk of transmission, both for other people and yourself. And it's wearing a mask. Who cares? It is literally the easiest, most innocuous thing to do. And I will never understand the people who are like, but my freedom.
That's
just
stupid.
Wear a mask, man. Yeah. Good Lord.
So dumb.
Yeah, I just, but I'm glad you brought up your kids, Steve, because I did want to say, I know we were kind of talking about, we don't, the people who are anti-vaxxers who don't follow the science, and we don't care if ReedPop gives them a refund. I agree with that. But I also want to extend an olive branch to all. I know there are people out there who can't get vaccinated because of health concerns, and that's a whole different thing entirely.
Mhm.
And I fully admit that I don't know what the solution to that. Of course I don't. I'm not, it's not what I do. But we're not roping everyone in who hasn't gotten vaccinated together. There are people who believe in the science but literally can't do it because of compromised immune systems.
Sure.
And I don't know what the answer to that
I mean,
is.
if you're immunocompromised though, and this is just coming from a place of profound love and respect, going to a con is a horrible idea. Like a really, really bad one. Every time I have gone to a con as a healthy individual, I have come back less healthy. Whether that's from eating and drinking or catching something god-awful.
9 p.m. Wendy's, how about that?
Yeah, late night Wendy's will knock me out. I don't want to be in a room full of sweaty people.
I mean, con flu is a thing, PAX flu, those are things, and they were things way before COVID happened. And so, in the best of circumstances, you're, at least, I don't want to say super likely, but you're taking a pretty good chance that you're going to get something nasty if you, aren't really careful at conventions, washing your hands and, all that. So it's going to be an interesting experience for sure. I know Steve and I are both excited to go, but we absolutely will be masked up the entire time. We're not taking any chances, both for ourselves or anybody else. It's just a respect issue. So, we'll have our proof of vaccination and our masks, and we'll have a good time. It's going to be interesting to see what PAX looks like this year.
I was going to say it'll be interesting to see how the hell we're going to do TNT from PAX, because
that is
that'll present a whole other challenge.
Might have to just take that day off. I get it. You guys have fun. I get to just
there we go.
Take it off.
You just
Derek getting a day off during a con is unheard of.
Yeah, I know, right? That's true. But yeah, good on PAX. And there's so many, easy jokes to be made here, right? Now, Vax West, Mask West, it's so easy. The name just lends itself to it.
Yeah.
But, I'm definitely happy this is a thing, and it just makes me more excited and feel at least a little bit safer about going, despite the fact that I'm vaccinated and will be wearing masks. But for those of you who are going to be there, we're looking forward to meeting you in person, and we'll certainly be talking about any planned meetups we plan to have with fans and such. So stay tuned for that. But we do have a few more news stories to get to, and this next one,
we have a super chat before that.
Oh, thank you. I just saw it now. Isaac Wolf with 20
Swedish krones.
Swedish krones. Thank you for the reminder. Netflix should adapt Pokemon Coliseum and XD. That would be pretty cool. We know they're doing a live action Pokemon series.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's not a bad idea, because you're still training them, but it's like stealing Pokemon from people who are mistreating them, and is a little bit more plot heavy.
Yeah. Coliseum has a really strong opening. Like the main protagonist breaks in and steals this Pokeball and glove and visor. And I think Coliseum has a really cool, I guess the environments are great, really cool, funky characters that they could, show off. Mirror B is awesome. So, all that good stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Yeah, I really liked Pokemon XD at the time. Like when it came out, I was like, "Oh, this is the future!" Like Pokemon RPGs on consoles. Yeah, I was definitely on with my predictions back then. But I lost that game. Like someone took it from me, and I never got it back. And I'm really pissed because now it's pretty expensive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Coliseum and Gale of Darkness, I got it for free from a friend, and I'm so happy. It was a while, because I'm a huge GameCube fan. It's my favorite console, and I have so many GameCube games that I've been collecting over the years. And they were like, "Hey, I know it's Christmas. I don't play these. You want them?" And I was like, "Yes, thank you, thank you so much. Best gift you could have given." Because he didn't know what they were worth, and obviously he didn't care, even if it was worth a lot, because he just wanted to, give me a gift. But it was definitely worth it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, thank you again for the donation, Isaac. That's very kind of you. We really appreciate it. Also, Adam Davis, YT, in our patron live audience chat, talking about recording TNT at PAX, saying, "Do it in the hotel room." Wait, don't take that out of context. And my question is, what context is out of context? I think Steve and I are both.
I'm glad I'm staying at home.
Yeah. Also, a quick shout out to Yu Narukami in our patron chat too, who changed their name specifically for me. They said today it's Rival Schools featuring Yu Narukami, but I suspect that Steve and Vash appreciate that just as much as I do as well. So Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Well, we do have some more news to get to, so let's move on to our next news story. Just going to put it out there. No witty transition this time. It's the Activision-Blizzard lawsuit. We're just going to talk about some updates on the situation and mainly the fact that employees are striking. So let's go ahead and get that up on screen. Okay, so we of course covered the Activision-Blizzard allegations and lawsuit in detail last week. It definitely brought the mood down quite a bit, understandably so. It was important to talk about, but we're not going to, we don't want to bring the mood down too much again today. So we're going to focus on, what positives there are about this, and there aren't many. But the fact that employees are taking action, they are striking today. Right now, I guess over 2,500 current and past Blizzard employees have now signed the open letter decrying Activision Blizzard management. And now they are striking today and demanding better treatment, better everything for the victims of the current, past, and unfortunately future potential victims of all the shit that is going down at Activision Blizzard. And I think, I speak for all of us when I say that, for what it's worth, we at GVG absolutely stand in solidarity with every single one of you who's striking. And we just hope the best for you. It's just absolutely horrific
best
what's
thing
going on.
We can do, and I have a friend who works at Vicarious Visions, and he was part of this as well, and put out some stuff. Basically saying, if you would like to stand with us in solidarity, you can check out and donate to any of these organizations. And the organizations include Black Girls Code, Futures Without Violence, Girls Who Code, RAIN, and that's all capitals RAINN, Women in Animation, and Women in Games International. So if you want to donate to any of those, that's how you can show support for this. And
perfect.
Because that's a common question. How do you do anything? Because the other thing was obviously encouraging people not to play Activision Blizzard's games today. Step away from them and
or
kind of show.
All. Just don't do it. I deleted all that. Everything that I had BattleNet wise, it's gone because I don't know. This whole thing just rubs me the horribly wrong way. Like, it's just upsetting.
It's indefensible.
Well, one of the things I found just amazing, right, is that this all started off specifically centered around treatment of women at these companies, at Activision Blizzard. And Bobby Kotick sent out an email, right, saying like, oh, hey, our response was tone deaf. Here's what we're going to do. And he lists a whole bunch of shit like, oh, we're going to take offensive things out of our games. We're going to have listening sessions. Never at any point in that email does he specifically call out, we are going to make sure women feel safe in our workplace. Never at any point in that email does he say, we're going to get rid of the enormous pay discrepancy between men and women at Activision Blizzard. He just glosses over those. Plus, and this is going to sound like such a nitpick, but I think you're going to understand where I'm coming from with this, Ash. The word company, every time he uses it in this email, is capitalized like a proper noun. And I'm like, you're really showing what's important to you, Bobby.
Yeah.
And then there's like a whole block of like legalese at the bottom of his email that just says like, oh, this is there are forward-looking statements in this and blah blah blah. I'm like, man, get fucked. Like, muster a single human emotion for once.
There is other things kind of related to this. So on one hand, it seemed like a good thing, where Jason Schreier reported that Blizzard has told employees that this afternoon it will offer paid time off to those participating in tomorrow's walkout. However, somebody else going by the name Axel Hext on Twitter saying this is PR and manipulative at best and a retribution trap at worst. In short, people should not take paid time off. Do not accept it. Don't register yourself as that's in quotes, as walking out. There are many countries where this wouldn't matter. The US isn't one of them. So basically, it's almost like this seems really nice. This is good PR. Blizzard's doing this. It also immediately paints like, hey, you're one of the ones that walked off. We're going to get some revenge on you.
Oh yeah, let's put a target on your back.
Mm-hmm. And past precedent isn't on Activision's side in this case, or really in any case. They're absolutely not. I don't believe there is even a shred of honesty or genuinely good intentions behind
No.
either Kotick's statement or their PR, offering paid time off. I don't believe there's a genuine shred of goodwill or honesty behind that.
Oh, yeah. The last thing I want to say about this, because this thing's exhausting, is one, Google the names of the dudes you see on Twitter that are like, I worked at Activision and I stand with them, because literally some of the people named in these lawsuits are tweeting out their support for it. Like, oh yeah, I ignore the pictures of me from 2013 posing with a Bill Cosby photo, but I stand with solidarity with you guys. I also maybe made some comments that are disgusting on Facebook about all this.
That whole we're not going to go into that one, but look up. Well, there's a Kotaku article out there, talking about the Cosby suite, which you want to make your skin crawl. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah. I remember there was an article I read a bit ago from PC Gamer that said that this was in March 17th that Bobby Kotick, from a shareholder value creation incentive bonus payment of $200 million to himself. This guy, I don't understand. If there was someone who's scum of the earth right now, it's fucking him, dude. Like, God, this guy has no and we were getting reports that Blizzard were letting people go. Like, Activision and Blizzard were letting people go because they were just like minimizing the workforce for whatever reason. And then he gets a bonus because of creation incentive for what did he do? Did he make the games? No, I freaking doubt it.
Yeah, it amazes me. You look at people like Satoru Iwata, right? The Wii U is doing terribly, and he cuts his own pay in half. Could you imagine if in the face of that, he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna buy me a third yacht, boys."
Exactly.
Let me get enough money in one bonus to buy my entire neighborhood worth of houses. Also, I'm gonna lay off half of you.
And but then you contrast that against what actually happened, which was Iwata taking a pay cut.
That's what I was saying.
Just to make sure nobody, so nobody left. Don't want to lose any of the people.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me.
I just pinned our comment in the YouTube chat. I think Derek, you posted it. Just linking to a screenshot of all the charities you can donate to if you want to show solidarity with the employees who were striking at Activision Blizzard. So that's pinned in the chat if you're curious about where you can find all those charities. And we're just hoping for the best for everyone who's been victimized by these, horrible, horrible situations at Activision Blizzard. And as we kind of laid out last week, we will continue to provide updates on this situation, but we are not going to be covering Activision Blizzard titles or giving them any sort of, visibility. But we will continue to update you all on this situation specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about all we need to say about this. We're not, as we
there's no need to just harp on this. Just support the people that are striking. Check out those places where you can donate. Do so if you can afford it. And this is just another method of keeping on the pressure.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's fair to say that Activision Blizzard definitely is not awesome. But you know what is awesome? Fighting games. So let's move on to our next news story.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like you need to beat the crap out of somebody after talking about something.
Yeah, I was gonna mention. I don't know if you. I'm sure maybe you guys have the same thing, but someone did a super chat, and their last name was Howard. And one of my favorite fighting games is Mark of the Wolves. And I every time I hear the word Howard, I always in my head I'm like Rock Howard, because whenever you pick him, like the announcer says it that way. So yeah, cool last name.
that's Geese's last name too, right?
Yeah.
It's the son of Geese.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The lore runs deep.
Well, today's story doesn't have to do. Lore. I love fighting game lore, especially.
Oh, fighting game lore is the best because it's so insane.
Yeah. But today's news story concerns Street Fighter, and the official Street Fighter Twitter account dropped an update today about the next Street Fighter V's update presentation. Turns out the summer update presentation is coming next week on August 3rd, 3 p.m. Pacific. And there are going to be behind-the-scenes looks and updates on, of course, all things Street Fighter V, including Oro, Akira from Rival Schools, and quote-unquote more. But I think we're all hoping more means whoever this super secret final character to be revealed is. We still don't know who it is. I don't know how you go up in hype from a Rival Schools character. I genuinely don't. Steve and I have talked about this when we reacted to the last Street Fighter V, presentation. We were struggling to figure out where do you go up in hype from Rival Schools. But Vash, fortunately, you are our guest today, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Not only what are you looking forward to seeing in this presentation, but do you have any ideas as to who this last character might be? Do you have any hopes or dreams as to who you want it to be? Lay it on us, man.
Well, it's funny because there's this competition that my brother was in called SFL, Street Fighter League, and he was on a team. It was a team-based event, and so when I was there was like actual like higher ups from Capcom there that were just like watching and over. Even Capcom Japan was there, like checking things out, and like very casually, very like nonchalantly, I'd be like, man, wouldn't it be cool if Terry Bogard got in this game? He would fit so well with Street Fighter V's moveset and stuff like that. But what was funny was that was way back before Terry got in Smash. So I was asking for Terry in the wrong game, I guess, because he ended up showing up. he ended up showing up in Smash. So yeah, for Street Fighter, I mean, I would love. I don't know. I would love if they had like a surprise, like returning character. Like if I know a lot of people would hate if it was like Rufus or stuff like that from Street Fighter 4. Yeah,
no.
but for me,
physics back.
Yeah, but for me, I think as much as I would love to get another guest character, if I stuck to Street Fighter, I definitely would want either Yun or Yang. They're always just so fun to watch at a high level. I have a huge affinity for rollerblading, so I would pick Yang because he's a rollerblader in his lore. Right. But yeah, I mean, besides that, I'm really hoping for some cool, like I'm hoping for some like Ultimate Edition. I mean, Street Fighter V already is pretty cheap right now. You can get like all the characters in the game entirety like for like I think $30 or something. But I'm hoping that when it's all said and done, they'll have like some ultimate pack with everything all included. But I really don't think we're gonna see the last character. I feel like Evo's coming up soon, and they usually announce big things at the end of the tournament for Evo. So I feel like it might be there, but I would love to be wrong.
Plus, I mean, Evo this year is, not only is it an online event, well, once again, at least the main Evo event, but Evo's also been dogged by, its own scandals and such. And so Evo probably would want some really massive hype announcement like the final Street Fighter V character to close out the show. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Go for it. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I was looking through other Capcom games. Obviously, they pulled out Rival Schools. Like, what other stuff is in the Street Fighter universe? And I found something I as I was searching, I was like, oh yeah, this would be cool, even though it's definitely not in the Street Fighter universe, at least not in the current one, because this is a fighting game that takes place in the 19th century. Wouldn't it be cool if we got a Power Stone character?
Oh man, yeah, that would be so dope.
Thank you.
What do you think? Would they go with Edward Falcon or Rouge? It would have to be one of those two, because those are like the poster children.
I've seen a few people speculate about Darkstalkers as well, in kind of the same vein, like, hey, we got Rival Schools, so maybe
that would be. I know there's been a lot of talk about Darkstalkers recently in the community, and so that would be a really, really like cool pick from the fighting game like background. I know. I mean, but Street Fighter V does an amazing job with its collaborative like costumes. Like Ash, I don't know if you've seen Roll Casket from Legends as Sakura. It looks so cool. Like there's so many like really good like collaborative outfits. So if we don't get a character, we might get I think Chun-Li has a Morgan outfit in 5. I believe so.
I think you're right.
Oh really? Okay.
I would love it if we got Yoon or Yang and we got a Wong-Tong outfit from Power Stone for them, since they look almost like exactly the same. But
I don't know. I want Yang to always. I want him to look like Troa Barton from Gundam, because he's got the same hair. That hair is it's just like exactly like the over dramatic like and it always reminds me of Troa from Gundam.
Man, I wonder who you go to though from here. Like, I can't think of anybody that would be super hype, like off the top of my head, that is in-universe Street Fighter character. Like, when I look at Five's roster, I'm like, who would you add? Like, Oni would feel cheesy. Like, he was kind of weak.
Yeah.
Goken was cool in 4, but I don't think you can go back to the well again so soon. Like,
I think Ashura would be cool from Ashura's Wrath, because they had Ashura got DLC of Street Fighter where he fought against Ryu and stuff. And then also, I mean, if we got a Tekken character collab, that'd work because Akuma's in Tekken, so they got something. So
I always Elena has always been one of my favorite Street Fighter characters, and I was always a little sad that she didn't get added to 5. With that said, though, I understand that she would not be hype enough in a general sense for everyone.
Would people care about C Viper? Because I always found it weird she was such a big character from
she had a big hit in 4, so I mean I think people would love if she came back, but she was deadly in 4. Like she was rough to deal with because of her cancels.
They were trying to make her a big thing in vanilla Street Fighter 4. Like the collector's edition came with like a little Sea Viper figure.
I think Jury took that spot. Like surprisingly, Jury was like, everyone's like, yes, Jury. Bring her back.
Jury was the thirst trap they intended Sea Viper to be. Viper would make sense because she's in a ton of story modes in 5 too. Like they gave her a Street Fighter 5 redesign and then just didn't put it to use really.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Viper was in MVC3 as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, she was. I mean, Nintendo did recently welcome Ryu and Ken into Smash, so maybe we just get a complete out of nowhere rug pulled out from under us, and it's like Kirby.
Sure.
It's not,
throw Samus in there. I know Dead or Alive, I think 4 or 5 threw Master Chief with like cloaking tech and stuff like that. So if we got Samus, that'd be hilarious.
We got a Spartan. They clarified that it was a woman in the armor.
It was a woman Spartan.
Yeah, they're like it's Master Chief, but she's a babe.
She's a babe. I remember her voice lines too. Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought up the roll casket costume, Vash, because that reminded me. I had completely forgotten about this, but the Gutsman costume for Balrog was hilarious.
Oh,
yeah,
so cool.
A little tidbit about the Street Fighter League: they actually banned the Airman outfit for Rashid because the outfit looked bigger than the character, so it was throwing off opponents. So they were like, no, you can't be. Yeah, they were like, can't use that. But the Airman outfit fit Rashid really well too because he threw little tornadoes in the air.
That's perfect, yeah, and especially with the way Rashid's tornadoes come out, they kind of come out vertical, like
they go
upward, right, just like the air shooter, which is I love that. That's so cool. I guess we'll find out. I guess I agree with you, Vash. Probably not next week in the summer presentation. Hopefully, we do at least get a release date for Akira though, because I'm a casual Street Fighter V player, and I will always be a casual Street Fighter V player. But I'm going to be picking it back up for her because I am just obviously such a big Rival Schools fan.
Dude, Rival Schools in high school, in Mr. Torres's class. Like, it was like during lunch, we would just go play Rival Schools and like other stuff. And the teacher was cool enough. He's like, yeah, bring your console, plug it into the TV. We can save Bill Nye for later. We can play some Rival Schools. And so that's where I first started playing Rival Schools, was in high school. A friend of mine would bring his console and we would just play for like 2 hours.
Oh, that's awesome. I just hope someone from Capcom is listening. Just, I know we're never going to get Rival Schools 3. I get it. But just an HD collection. Rival Schools, Project Justice. I don't need any new content.
Put Rival Schools in the next like Judgment game. Well, as a little arcade thing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Oh man,
see what
Lost
happened.
Judgment soon.
I know, Lost Judgment.
I just finished playing a Judgment on PS5, and man, the whole time I was like, Kaito, don't betray me, and like I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything, but I love Kaito so much, and that whole cast was just so much fun to play around with.
Yeah. Steve, what do you think, man? Do you want to react to the presentation next week?
Yeah, I'm curious where you go from here because I feel like it wouldn't be much. So I'm kind of torn. Like I feel like they have to show us something new. Like we've known about Oro and Akira for months. At minimum, we have to get release dates, right? It's silly that we don't have one for either of them yet. But
I almost wonder if they'll shadow drop Oro.
Maybe.
Oh, man, I wonder. Well, my big question is, if they reveal the last character, as some people have been positing in the chat, do we get an announcement of Street Fighter 6, which we know has been in the works for years now,
right,
and has been delayed thanks to COVID? And in fact, the popular thinking around it is that Street Fighter V Season 5 only exists because Street Fighter 6 got held up. Like it's having some development issues. So I feel like, it's further along than probably the hype around Street Fighter V leads people to believe. I'll wager that if we see the final character, like, at all in this presentation, then I would give us 60-40 odds of seeing Street Fighter 6 at EVO, like a reveal.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
it all depends on like whether they think that'll eat into people buying DLC for 5.
Yeah.
Well, right, but at this point, realistically, you've probably sold your season pass to people that are going to buy it,
True.
right? I guess it comes down to, and obviously Capcom are the only ones that know this, how do they feel about the health of the competitive SF5 scene right now? Is it strong enough for them to want to go another year without announcing a new game? But I think at most we have 1 year left of Street Fighter V at the very most.
I would definitely double down on that, because I think the main thing that you need to look at if you want to try to gauge how far we are from Street Fighter 6 is what are they doing with the CPT tour, and like how far along do they have stuff planned? Because if players are prepping and getting ready for a tournament that they have planned for next year, then they'll be playing 5 and they'll be like looking towards 5. And so if they have, I'm pretty sure Broly would have a better idea about it all. But if they have stuff like a roadmap of being like, this is where SFL stops here, but it's going to start in Japan, then they might have like another 6 months where they won't announce it, stuff like that. So it could be, I want to say, after a year, probably a little bit more than a year, that's when we will probably be in the area of getting a reveal. But again, I would love to be wrong because I want a new game.
Yeah,
right.
Please.
One of my favorite predictions for who the last character is, just completely off the wall, comes from Joe in our YouTube chat, just saying Rouge the Bat. I just want to see a parallel universe where it actually is Rouge the Bat and
see Alex. You want to see Alex just like dive bomb Rouge the Bat, yeah. And then freaking, what was it? No, I think Zangief's critical art is he like grabs him and then like shoves him into the ground like backwards.
Yeah, I just Rouge the Bat. Just whatever. So like funny. I just love how off the wall that is.
Let's just throw in Lucha Pikachu. Like
yeah, exactly. Nice. But we also have another prediction from Alan Wilkinson with a £2 super chat saying Fighter 50 from Mortal Kombat, perhaps Johnny Cage, and that would be cool. I don't see it ever being a Mortal Kombat character, just given how vastly different.
It would be weird to see a Mortal Kombat character move fluently instead of like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
There's a lot of considerations there. For instance, I read Event Hubs. It's like one of my daily reads. And I know that they had an article a while back where Ed Boon had talked about his interest in crossing over with Street Fighter way back in the day, like during the heyday, like in the 90s. And he said that, on his side, there was definitely interest, and Capcom was like, kick rocks, like they told Ed Boon to go pound sand, and he kind of came around on his thinking, and he's like, what, like these days he just wouldn't want it. Like he sees Capcom's point of view now, and he's like, it's not a good fit for our characters to cross over with Street Fighter because we'd kill them.
Like, right. He's been teasing a lot of Marvel, he's been gouging the audience a little bit, kind of like
he's sort of mess with him a little.
He's poking at him, and he's just like, Marvel maybe.
It's like he saw that Ono left the fighting game industry, and he's like, well, somebody's got to troll all the fighting game fans on Twitter now, so let me do it.
Yuna Takami brought up a great point in our live audience chat that they tagged me in, saying, I think both Oro and Akira were released the same day like G and Sagat did. Also, the presentation is 1 hour, so I think we could get the final character revealed. I didn't realize the presentation was 1 hour, and that was a lot longer than the previous one was. So that could point to something big being announced. It's true. Thank you for that bit of information I had not realized. So I guess we'll see what happens. In the meantime, we do have a $24.99 donation from Darchi. Thank you so much for your generosity. Wow.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you. Saying, I'm at work, but hope y'all have a good TNT, and hope y'all get a review code for Here Comes Nico that I tagged y'all in. I hope you do too. And I unfortunately wouldn't be the one playing that because it's a Steam game. But god damn, that game looks cool. And thank you so much for tagging us in it or with it because it looks really neat. And I'd love to check it out. So
it is pretty cool looking. Hopefully we'll get a code and we can check it out. It's made by the Hat in Time guys, I think.
Or at least published by them. I'm not sure which.
Sweet.
Well, that alone makes my interest even more skyrocket, even higher, because Hat in Time was awesome. So, very cool. Matt Cringe with a $5 Canadian donation saying, "What if the last character is a new character who would be the next protagonist for Street Fighter 6?" I mean, that would be an interesting approach, but I kind of feel like that might take the piss out of Street Fighter 6's big reveal if they're protagonists.
I mean, if they do that, go that route, wouldn't they just? What about that basketball playing guy in the gi from Street Fighter 3?
Sean.
Him is the last. Sean. Him is the last character because he appears in story mode. His sister's in the game.
True.
Yeah, there's a lot of Sean fans too because they just think he's cool.
Oh, man.
But
Sean has the best taunt in the history of taunts, just like hitting you with a basketball. I love it.
He's pretty great, but I don't know if it beats Dudley's Rose. Dudley's Rose.
Yeah, the little.
Really good
oh
too.
man, it's so good.
I love. They're both really good though.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Matt. And finally, we have a $2 donation from Late Night Sprite saying, "Great Ace Attorney is amazing. Played it till 3 a.m."
Ooh, the gamer with the gamer hours. You love it.
Yeah, I can't.
Looking forward to put more time in because I've only played. I'm not even through the first case yet, but what I've played is really fun.
Yeah, it seems.
Derek was telling me. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
It seems like it's really good. I've seen a little bit of the game, but I haven't played a ton of it. I haven't played it at all yet. But I'm trying to decide because Rob Arman X very generously gifted me a bunch of Ace Attorney games on Steam. And I'm like, should I play those first or should I play?
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, fortunately, you don't have to play them first because this is like a completely different story taking place, generations before the main Ace Attorney series. So.
Yeah, they kind of own thing. So,
Soulcaster in the chat says gutter trash, and man, Dudley gets me hyped. Like his theme is so good.
Is Dudley
he just makes me groove, man. Dudley's awesome.
Is Dudley in 5?
No, he's in 4, but I think we have Balrog and we've got. I was so upset. I'm just gonna rant a little bit. I was so looking forward to Ed as a character, and the way when they showcased him, he was like this kind of like punk, scrawny kid that had psycho powers because he was like a Bison clone or whatever. And then like they like, oh, he got enhanced from the psycho power, so now he's another blonde beefy dude in Street Fighter. And I'm like, come on, dude! Like you already removed the twins. Give me some like scrawny guy that I can like enjoy some like quick and fast gameplay with. But I mean his kid's fun. He's a fun game. I mean a fun character, but Dudley is missed.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he also released right next to, and I can't remember her name at the moment, but they look so similar, and she was a
Falk.
Yeah,
Falk. Yeah,
they look so similar.
Yeah. I think she's also part of like that Bison project, Psycho,
that's what I thought.
Like power project. I think the ending of Ed's story mode, like they're both walking with like some ape. Like there's like a gorilla that's also there's that character that people have been saying that he could be a character in the game too, some like gorilla guy. I forgot what his story is, but that's what I was like. Fighting game lore just makes me laugh, but for the best reasons.
Let's hope it's not DeCapra again. That
DeCapri?
That was such a, at least to me, and I follow Street Fighter lore, to a point as well. Hell, I used to work for Udon. They're all about Street Fighter lore. They create something. Hell, but I always thought that was just one of the most disappointing reveals they could have gone with.
I mean, she's a fan favorite because her kid's cool and all that. But it was just more so like, here's a character but wearing different clothes, different name. So there you go. Yeah. Have fun. Yeah.
Well, either way, thank you again, Late Night Sprites, and I cannot wait to play Great Ace Attorney with my wife. And Derek was saying before we started recording that we're really going to enjoy it. And one of my favorite gaming experiences over the years has been playing Ace Attorney. It
has a unique start at least for the Ace Attorneys I've played. It's like never quite had this situation before for Ace Attorney to start with.
Yeah, Broly's playing that right now. He started streaming it. He streamed it like at the release, the digital release, and I went in the room and I was like, "You bought it digitally? We're a physical gaming household, right?" And he was just like, I wanted to play it, man. I'm sorry. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. But he's been playing it.
I do want to extend a warm welcome to Naughty Senpai in our YouTube chat. I haven't seen your name in a while. Just saying, hey guys, and hello, Naughty Senpai. Just happy to see your name in chat again.
I have a feeling you're going to be saying that again to him real soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, awesome! I sure am. Okay, we do have a couple more super chats then. Nice, $5 Canadian from Bongo Lovers saying, "Would any of you have Bongo as your defense lawyer? He would be shouting, 'Danimals!' and 'Bong it!' in court."
Bong it.
Bong it. I can't, because that just makes me think of Ichiban Kasuga now, and I just can't.
Oh, right.
I think I would have him as like
so deep.
I would have him on my side, and he'd be that character that's like overly emotional. Like, so if someone was like, talking smack to me from across the courtroom, like he would say something, and the judge would be like, "Be quiet." He's that character in my courtroom.
I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah.
I would definitely have him on my side. I mean,
absolutely.
Think about the talk show circuit afterwards. They'd be like, "You were represented by a yogurt-obsessed talking primate. Where'd you find him?"
Well,
you found me, man.
Everything that happens
found me at my lowest point.
Given everything that actually happens in the Ace Attorney games, I feel like that's one of the less weird things.
Yeah, probably. Definitely, yeah.
Sorry, Derek, you were saying something?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Derek's just vibing this episode. He's over here chilling.
Oh, yeah. I don't have as much to add when it comes to Street Fighter, so you guys pop off.
I was going to say, this is like one of the early episodes we had where we had, like, our first 3 episodes of TNT were like all RPGs all the time, and I was just like, "Hey, guys."
Hey, how's it going?
There was a bunch of Kingdom Hearts talk. I remember that. It was just Derek and I going off about Kingdom Hearts.
Dude, I've been playing Melody of Memory. I want to platinum that game so bad.
It's so fun.
But yeah, Derek Brawley's actually planning, if you guys want to ever watch a person beat all the Castlevania games with his face, he's never played Castlevania ever.
Oh, wow.
So so he's going to be doing that with his face. So that'll be fun.
When is this going down?
He hasn't really because right now he's finishing Persona 4 and then he just started Ace Attorney. So he's like, I guess sometime
it's going to be a little bit yet.
Gotcha. Of course, wow. and here is Naughty Senpai Super Chat, $5. Thank you so much from Naughty Senpai saying, "Had to pop in and say hi right quick." Well, thank you so much.
Hello.
And again, it's just really
hi.
Great.
Like Ash said, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has. And
it's been a while.
I'll get to that one right after this. Late Night Sprites with another $2 donation saying, "Fave Ace Attorney, Athena and Edgeworth for me." I thought you meant Fave Ace Attorney game. If we're talking about the actual attorney characters, I mean, I got to go with... I'm a classic. I got to go with Phoenix.
Yeah,
I love the OG. I love Phoenix as a
I'm gonna go with his mentor. I don't want to spoil anything, but
yes, I'm glad I didn't say the name. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't. That also is a good choice, but I have to go with the classic Phoenix. I love him as a character, despite some of the weird character takes they did with him in later games in the series. I won't spoil anything, but I do love that character. So Phoenix for me.
I'd agree with you,
Derek. Yeah,
I agree with you. I was like thinking, the Phoenix is just my favorite.
Right. Cool.
Of the Ace Attorneys.
Right. To piggyback off that though, Godo, best prosecutor, easily my favorite. He loves coffee. Come on, he's a badass.
MVC3 ruined Maya for me because every time I hear her name now, I just hear Phoenix saying Maya, like because it's one of the commands in the game where he just says Maya, like super exaggerated. So every time I think of Ace Attorney, I just in my head I'm like Maya.
No, jeez, yeah. Naughty Senpai back one more time with another $5 donation saying, "Just got done working a 56-hour week at Amazon. Treated myself by ordering some merchandise from Fangamer, including the Undertale vinyl soundtrack."
Nice.
I've got a bunch of vinyls back there. Respect. I got all those vinyls. I'm trying to get like the biggest video game vinyl collection going.
Nice.
Yes. So you and I both collect those. That's awesome. I collect vinyls or video game vinyls as well.
Yeah. Did you get the Mega Man Legends one?
I ordered it. It hasn't gotten to me yet, but I have. I ordered it. I can't wait.
I will go out of my way to say this. Fangamer is like my favorite place to buy, like gaming merchandise, shirts. Like, man, I love our shirts, but they make the best goddamn shirts in the world. Like,
they're really good with their collector's editions.
Yeah. Everything they make feels really high quality. It's all excellent stuff. I can't recommend them enough. I have a poster. You can't see it back here, but it's like a print that they did a while back. And I have a closet full of pre-pandemic Fangamer shirts that don't fit me anymore. So someday they'll fit again, but they're fantastic. I love all their merch. And a wonderful group of people. They're really close to where I live, actually.
Yeah, they work with the speedrunning events. The SGDQ, AGDQ, they're always like a part of it, and they give donations to charity. They're super awesome.
Soulcaster in the YouTube chat. I just want you to know how difficult it is for me not to wield my GVG powers irresponsibly and retract your second message because you got it right the first time. Coffee is greater than tea, and you were unintentionally agreeing with me. But I won't. I'm going to leave both up there. With great power comes great responsibility. I know. All right. We do have one more news story to get through, and this is just pretty light, just some release date updates and some other date updates. So let's go ahead and get that up on screen. And I don't think we'll have too much to say about any of these individually, so I'm just going to go ahead and list them off. First of all, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, has been delayed to September 21st, citing polish issues. They just want to take a little extra time to completely polish the game up, which might be the right call, because I know, Steve, you said recently that you may have heard that it wasn't coming together so well. So hopefully that gives them the time they need to put out the best game possible. Also, Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water, the remaster of that is releasing on October 28th. And there's going to be an Atelier Ryza costume as a pre-order bonus, which is kind of random, but cool.
You got to get those Atelier Ryza fans in there. It's like, oh, yes, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a weird crossover, but I mean, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Sure. And then finally, Dr. Mario World is shutting down on November 1st. Sorry for
man, you missed the opportunity to say that Dr. Mario has been put on life support. But
the plug's been pulled.
The plug has been pulled.
How could I have missed that opportunity? I'm ashamed.
Yeah, I was so wrong about Dr. Mario World. Like, I played it in preview mode, and I was like, man, this is really fun. Like, I'll probably play this, and then I just never did.
I mean, I enjoyed what I played of it, but it was just not enough for me to keep coming back to it.
Yeah, it was fine. It just wasn't enough. Yeah, again, it just wasn't enough for me to come back to it. I don't really enjoy playing games on mobile in the best of circumstances, and I just didn't feel the need to play Dr. Mario.
Yeah, I powered through I want to say 120 levels when it first came out, and and yeah, just somewhere along the line, the gameplay just flatlined, and I was
and the thing is, I was good at it. I'd go online, I'd cream people, but it was just like, I'm good.
As Alanad does mention, though, in our live audience chat, Dr. Goomba Stack. The one thing I'll give Dr. Mario World is all just how far they took the Dr. Mario character.
Wasn't Luma a doctor too? Wasn't it Dr. Luma or something?
Probably, God. Yeah, Dr. Luma, Dr. Goomba Stack. I think there were various Koopa kids who were also doctors.
No wonder it's like everybody in the Mushroom Kingdom grows to 2'3". They literally let anyone be a doctor.
They're letting child.
Oh yeah, they got all the doctor, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach. I'm going through and looking at who all got a doctor status. I mean, Dry Bowser got a doctor status, and
so weird.
That's so ridiculous.
Here's the really ridiculous things. Dr. Fire Luigi, Dr. Fire Rosalina, Dr. Fire Mario, and Dr. Fire Peach. They put the fire in there.
They only help with fevers. They go and
I'm sorry, I would not trust Dr. Nabbit. He'll steal your kidneys.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I'm going to sell these on the black market.
I already don't trust Dr. Mario. He's clearly a back alley doctor. I've never seen that PhD.
There's Dr. Dolphin. The dolphin from Super Mario World was made a doctor.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Could you imagine if Dr. Mario was an actual doctor? Walks in, he's like, look, there are only 3 illnesses in the entire world. You've got one or all of them. I'm going to give you horse pills until you either die or you're cured. Let's roll the dice.
Take 50 of these and then maybe call me if you're still around.
At least they're not L-shaped horse pills.
Dude, that was the worst thing about the gameplay was you could grab a pill and then just you could put it wherever you wanted. There was no skill involved. It was just I want it in this bottom corner, but it doesn't fit. Well, I'll just put it there, and it was
as soon as I figured that out, I was like, what the heck? That doesn't make any sense.
It was so weird.
As Juan in our live audience chat points out, we never got a Dr. Pauline or a Dr. Gino, and I swear to God, if we had actually gotten a Dr. Gino, that would have, just to watch the reactions across the internet from the Gino community in Smash who wanted him so much, that would have been heartbreaking. I guess kind of similar to Dixie Kong being in Mario Kart Tour.
I wonder about the content creators on YouTube who had to make the thumbnail, and then they're there with their shocked face, and they're like, Dr. Mario World's adding Dolphin. He's busted. His moveset's crazy. Some dumb thumbnail where they're just hyping up this the data mine. You won't believe who's coming next. Dolphin. We got Dolphin and Big Bertha showing up. Oh my god, it's too funny.
Jet Set in our live audience chat says, put in Doctor Doom as a guest character, and I'll take your Doctor Doom and raise you a Dr. Wily, a Dr. Eggman, various video game doctors who are actually doctors of some sort. I'd say
Dr. Danica Patrick. Come on, we can't forget her.
Dr. Danica Patrick, I love it. So yeah, Dr. Mario World, R.I.P. I guess.
Hope we didn't spend too much money on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there who's going to be upset about this, and my heart goes out to you that the game's ending. But
all that training.
I love Neo's suggestion in the YouTube chat. Add Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre.
That would be the last doctor to add.
So good. Oh my god.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, lately I've been the mobile gamer. I've been playing a bunch of Pokemon Unite. I'm already in veteran rank, killing it. And I think the Nier Reincarnation mobile game came out today, so I'm gonna be definitely streaming that later to check it out because it looks really nice for a mobile game for sure.
Nice.
I checked out Fantasian for like a few minutes, and I kind of want to go back to it and check out more of it. I'm certainly curious about it just because of the development pedigree and just everything we saw of the game leading up to release. It seems fun. I like that you can just jump right into it. You don't have to create some sort of account or anything. It's just like playing a regular console game. You just launch it and you start, and the story starts. There's no nonsense. So that's kind of cool. I want to check out more of it.
Sweet.
Adoodle says, it's me. Oh, about Dr. Mario World. It's me. I'm upset, but I also never gave any money, so I totally get it. Well, hey, like I said, there are fans out there, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you only have a few more months to enjoy the game, but hopefully you get everything out of it that you can. So that kind of is everything. I guess just to mention Kena really quick, I'm still looking forward to it, I think.
Yeah, delay made sense because they had said nothing about the game for a while. So
right, and especially after what Steve said he had heard.
Yeah, I had heard that it didn't perform particularly well, so it'll be nice to see how this extra time shapes it up.
Right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, hey, it's always worth taking the time you need to get it right. Game development is difficult under the best of circumstances, and you don't want to have all that work go to waste by rushing it out before it's the best it can be, right?
And it looks promising. I mean, I'm really excited for it, especially because I managed to get a PS5, so I really hope it just knocks it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I also love the thematic relevance of Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water releasing 3 days before Halloween. That's awesome. And as I've said before,
that's how you do
play this game, everybody. If you like horror games, if you've played a Fatal Frame game before, or even if you haven't, check this game out. It was awesome on Wii U. So, but I've said that before. I don't need to say it again. Or again. And that does, in fact, bring us to the end of the show. So, as always, though, before we head out, Vash, why don't you tell all of
Well, there's some super chats, Ash, before you...
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to refresh it. That is so my fault. My bad. Let's see. Jaden Buck with $10 saying, just wanted to let you guys know I'm starting a new bit for my super chats this Friday. I'm calling it Crazy Question Friday. I'm going to ask you the most bizarre questions I can think of.
All right.
Oh, dear.
Game on.
All right. I don't know if I should be excited or nervous or both, but I'm both. So bring it on. I mean, I'm excited to see their first questions as part of this new venture.
First one's like, do you like jazz? That's his first question he opens up with.
And thank you so much for you have been such an amazing supporter of the channel. You've donated so many times. Just thank you so much for your continued support. We love seeing you here in the chat, and looking forward to your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Also, $5 more from Naughty Senpai saying, do you guys have a favorite anime you think is underrated? My pick is Sarazanmai. It's wacky and insane and very emotional. 10 out of 10.
Never heard of it.
Man, I feel like all the animes that are my favorites are not necessarily underrated. They're usually pretty popular. But I will take this chance to say High Score Girl. I don't think it's underrated among people who've watched it, but I also don't think it's particularly well known either. And
that's kind of where I'm at with my choice.
Sorry?
I said that's kind of where I'm at with my choice. Where I don't know if it's like people who watch it love it, but how many people have watched it?
What is that? Well, what's that series?
Oh, mine was Place Further Than the Universe.
Oh, I've
never heard of it.
It's
a great band. You should see them live. They're much better live.
It's about a group of 4 girls who go on a trip to Antarctica and the trials and whatnot it takes to actually get on the trip, and then the actual trip itself, and then actually in Antarctica doing all that stuff. It's very cool. Well done. Yeah.
All right.
It's just very nice.
I've got a deep cut for you.
Okay.
Mine is a short anime. You can watch the whole thing in like an hour. It is Tonari no Seki-kun, and it's literally about a kid that just sits is a huge slacker in school and sits next to like someone who is absolutely devoted to their studies, and it's her constantly judging him for all the wild shit he does at his desk instead of his schoolwork. It's stupid and it's brilliant, and it has, and I wish I could remember the name. This is what puts it over the top for me. It has a song by a guy that traditionally does like theme songs for like Sentai shows, so like a deep throated, like full Japanese singing voice. Like think of Goemon Impact, the Impact song, and that it might even actually be the exact same guy, but he does one about, the song is called Robot Kazoku. And if you don't know what Kazoku means, it just means family. And it's just this like full on like Sentai style theme song for this kid playing with like toy robots at his desk. It's like one of the stupidest scenes I've seen in all of anime.
That's too good.
Yeah.
What about you, Vash?
I saw some people denying it in the chat, but go watch Trigun. Trigun, you can
that's
say
underrated, but
it's underrated because go look at every other big anime back then. They got Game Boy games, they got merchandise, they got every. Trigun didn't get a game. It got a movie like 7 years later after it was aired or whatever. But Trigun
because I missed it.
No, yeah, it's great. It's funny because, I mean, it's literally filler the movie, but they got the voices back, I think, except for Wolfwood. But it was like, here's Vash sandbagging for 90% of the movie, and then at the end, it's the big boss battle or whatever with the main bad guy, and he just smokes him. Like, no joke. It was just like, okay, well, you gave me, an ending, I guess. But besides that, like, Trigun's great. It conveys a message of just, human... taking care of each other and all that stuff. So good.
We need
I've heard really good things about it. I really want to watch it.
I have the manga. I would love to see them do a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood thing.
Yes,
where they just follow the manga closer.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that.
And then that name's right there. Call it Trigun Maximum. Boom.
Yes, you were exactly right. Like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like made it like boom. Like here's Full Metal Alchemist and here's Brotherhood's way better. But Trigun, if they took the manga stuff and then tweaked the stuff if they wanted to, call it Trigun Maximum. Ooh, chef's kiss.
I would appreciate it because I like it, but God, the artwork is hard to interpret sometimes in the manga.
Yeah, well, I think the same artists are the ones who are helping with. I think it's Demon Slayer, I think, right now that's going on. I think it's the same people because they made Gungrave, which is another anime by the same person. But but yes, go watch Trigun. So it's such a good show, and it really molded me to really help people and understand that everyone goes through stuff in life, and people are redeemable, and he's just a goofy guy, and it's a little dated, sure, at times, but it's a great show. Really wholesome. Yeah.
Nice. Well, actually, I was going to say, I don't know. So my pick was High Score Girl, and specifically you, Vash. If you haven't heard of or watched it, you should.
I've seen clips on Twitter, and it looks hilarious.
You know what it is. Okay, it's awesome. Basically just a coming of age story, taking kind of steeped in video game culture of the early or the mid '80s up to the mid '90s, but specifically through the lens of competitive fighting games, and it's such a good show. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely check that out. High Score Girl is awesome.
For sure.
Sketch at NPM with a $4.99 donation saying, "Thank you for recommending Yakuza Like a Dragon. I am now obsessed, streaming for my friends. Also delighted to hear George Takei in it." Oh my. Yes, I didn't know it was him before I heard him. And then I was like, that sounds like George Takei. And then I looked it up and it is. And that's such a good dub in general. But I'm so glad you're enjoying the game, Sketcha. It's such a fantastic game. Enjoy the ride.
Very cool.
Jared, there it is. Jared Helder with a $2 Canadian donation saying, "Is One Piece better as a manga or anime?" One of my best friends would tell you manga, absolutely for sure, but I haven't read or watched it myself. Do you guys have any opinions on this?
On one hand, I'm not caught up at all with either, but here's how I saw it broke down. On one hand, you got the manga with fantastic pacing. On the other hand, you have the anime with fantastic music, and the animation apparently lately has been freaking amazing. So maybe probably read the manga, check out the anime for the highlights, the stuff you really enjoyed? See how they interpreted it.
For me, it's on one hand, Vash really likes pirates and boats and adventures. But on the other hand, young Vash, when he started watching, his favorite character died really early on, and he stopped watching and never went back. And that's what happened. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, the character that I was super like about, and I was like, yeah, he's awesome. He's dead. So
that's what
it just tells me your age. Because I think that's.
I mean, honestly, okay. I feel pretty good about it. I don't look it, but if you were to give me an age, what was it? Because I got ID'd like 2 days ago, and I was like, thank you, appreciate that.
Ooh.
Honestly,
I love that feeling.
24.
Thank you. Cool. No, I just in May I turned 30.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm definitely in the older group.
Hey, you know what? I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to get ID'd fairly regularly still, and I appreciate it every single time. I'm definitely at that age where I really appreciate it. So
I usually just get ID'd so they like can photocopy it to let everyone know I'm not welcome there anymore.
Don't let this guy come back.
Yeah.
All right. One more super chat from Claxon with a $1.99 donation saying, Dr. Bongo prescribes Danimals exclusively. Yes,
he's out to kill you. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. I mean, what could possibly be better for what ails you than Danimals, right? And Derek might disagree with that, though, given what he tried recently.
Yeah, I actually ate it, so I know what I'm talking about.
Danimals is what ails Derek.
Exactly. Well, thank you all so much for your incredibly generous donations. Thank you so much. But with that, we have finally now reached the end of the show. But before we head out, Vash, please tell our amazing audience, both on YouTube and Patreon, where they can find you, man.
I mean, mainly, so the way it works for me is, twitch.tv/Vash. It's just Vash, no numbers, no underscore, no nothing. And my YouTube channel is on my Twitch, information. But my YouTube is mainly just a VOD re-upload and a little highlight reel of my streaming. So that's mainly my focus. And right now I've got, so I mean, again, I appreciate you guys bring me back on. I couldn't honestly believe it that you guys reached out to me. Because I am a smaller channel. I'm getting close to 1,000 followers on Twitch. Nice. So, but I did give myself an incentive because a lot of people who watch me, they know the type of games I like, they know the humor that I like, and if I hit 1,000 followers, I'm gonna play God Hand for the first time ever because I've never played God Hand, and everyone's like, God Hand's amazing, like you'll love it.
That is on my list of games people request me to play. So it's not too long. It won't be too long before I end up playing that too.
But yeah, I mean, besides that, the only other thing that I want to shout out is there's a game August 5th that's coming out that I've been beta testing for like 2 years now almost. It's called Dreamscaper, and it's coming to the Switch on August 5th along with PC. If you like Hades, if you like Binding of Isaac, stuff like that. But the thing is, it's an indie game, but it's not. It's a 3D, like everything's 3D rendered. It's a new take on the whole roguelike stuff. And I'm pretty sure it's like on sale too as like a pre-order or whatever, but yeah, check it out. You can even join the Discord. I promise you, I gave them feedback, and within the same day they patched and fixed and added whatever I told them within that same day, because they're just that it's a 3-man team as well. So it's like that's unreal awesome. How far they've gotten. But they were in the a Nintendo Indie Showcase not too long ago. Nice. And definitely check out Dreamscaper. So much fun. And I actually got a weapon in the game because I tested it and I backed them on Kickstarter. So if you see if you see dual blades, it's gonna say in the description like slicing and dicing thanks to Vash. So super cool. Awesome. Very fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Awesome. Nice. We did include links to both your Twitch and Twitter in the description below. So everyone go click on those, subscribe to Vash's Twitch channel and Twitter page, obviously. And we will add a link to Dreamscaper after this show. Sweet. But I know we're very close to Steve's hard stop, so we do need to go ahead and get going. So as always, thank you all so much. We love you all. But a special thank you to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make this show happen, because frankly, without you, it would not be happening. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. But as always, an extra special thank you to all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those awesome, wonderful, fine, badass folks include Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Etiono Ben, Dan and Twistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, It's ATM, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Aiko Carroll, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kitty Kong Fax, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotik, 112, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Sapphire, Azran127, Pagrima, Kinrule09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Charlie Bird, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Orem M, Brady Power, Sakuragi, Becca, Rux the Cat, Fizzywig Hoyd, Critmonger, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Deaneth, Kota, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Christopher Masterson, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchrolord, Brainchild, Rosa Pardo Bowling.
Hi, Mom.
Kotar Peck, Scuff 196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, Darik, Ray Clausen Jr., Nathan the Voice Actor, Hulkamaniac 55, Chibi J, Bongo Lover, Mumbling Yeti, and last but never least, Cameron Sharp. Thank you all so much, genuinely. We couldn't do it without you. And if you are interested in checking us out over on Patreon, you can find us at patreon.com/gvgaming, where we offer a variety of tiers where you can support us and get various perks at various levels. There's a lot there. Go check us out. But even if you can't and you just support us here on YouTube, it means the world to us if you could like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Every little bit truly does help as we seek to grow more and more. So thank you, as always, everybody. It's been a blast, and we will see you on Friday for episode 116 of Today's News Tonight. Until then, everybody, good night and good vibes. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.